2, 3, 2, but yep, recording. Hello, welcome to my channel, Matty G 111. I need to get something a bit more better than that. But yeah, today I have myself two friends again. We have Sydney, say hello.
Hello.
And I've already forgotten your name, very terrible names, man.
All good, it's Damon and hello.
Yeah, so I've decided to bring Sydney in today just to have a little chat and just, introduce what you do and all that sort of stuff. So how's Melbourne life going so far anyway?
It's very fun, a bit crazy, but
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, you recently had a write up in the newspaper recently about the whole Mildura to Melbourne thing. Did you do that? Did you write that?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, so how'd you go doing about that?
Writing it or
Yeah,
just...
writing it. How was that? What was that like?
It was interesting. I spoke to Emma, your sister,
Yeah.
about it. It was just kind of like, I guess, living through all the memories again.
Yeah.
And sorting through what would be appropriate to put in a newspaper and what wouldn't be. But yeah, it was a really interesting kind of just like looking back at the year, I suppose, and reflecting in like 600 words.
Oh, good. So you're basically just summarising what it's like to go from the rural city from rural to Melbourne or to the big city.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing in Melbourne at the moment anyway?
So I'm studying advertising at RMIT,
Yep.
and I'm working as like a journalist and a graphic designer.
Okay. What do you like? Do you like your so you're still doing your degree then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
second
but
year.
you're working like 2 jobs. How many jobs you work? You working like?
Technically working 4 jobs, but
Oof.
3 mainly. One.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. So you are enjoying your degree then.
Yeah.
What's journalism like?
It's really interesting. I find it hard to kind of, because it's like the paper in Mildura, so I do find it a little bit hard kind of trying to find stories when I'm living in Melbourne.
Yeah.
But the film side of it, like the film reviewing is great.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, good. Well, you've always liked films and stuff like that anyway,
Yeah,
so
for
that's
sure.
been your shiz. And what about you, man? What do you do?
So I'm currently studying screenwriting at VCA, so Victorian College of the Arts.
Yep.
And I also got a couple jobs on the side,
Yeah.
mainly as a swimming instructor.
Yeah. So that's how you guys met through the whole film stuff. I
Film.
guess
Yeah.
that works out pretty well. So what's it like being a swim instructor?
Oh, it's very rewarding, but can be very difficult at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you've got the kids that genuinely love to learn and the kids that are being dragged along by their parents.
Yep, you love those
And
ones.
I love all of them, but it's just how much I love them depends
Yeah.
on that. So you just gotta push the ones that don't want to be there, and then you gotta try and find time for the ones that do want to be there. So it's just a bit of a challenge, but very rewarding when they actually get it right.
Yeah, I would have been the one that really hated being there because I would have been dragged
That's
along.
fair.
So that's very interesting. I'm just trying to think, why did I bring you here? Yeah, I bring you here just to talk about what is your perception on university and being able to juggle all those jobs and stuff that you do. Like, for me, I also work a couple jobs as well, and trying to juggle that all and trying to stay disciplined and get it within my discipline, and how I handle that. So what is your perspective on all that? Does that make sense where I'm going with that?
Yeah, for sure. For me personally, it was really hard because I also wanted to have a social life as well when I was down there. So we're suddenly thrown to the city where we can kind of do whatever we want. No one's telling us no. And then we're suddenly having to pay rent and everything at the same time.
Yeah.
So it was really hard to begin with because Emma and I, we went through a stage just going out every single night and going to work, and we shouldn't have been at work and just super tired. But I feel like this year I've kind of balanced it a little bit better. I guess I kind of look at my schedule. I plan everything out. I write down everything so I know exactly what I'm doing and how much time I have in between things, which really helps. There's still that kind of pool of wanting to go out and do things though, which makes it hard.
Yeah, so trying to control yourself in that aspect of being a young person, trying not to go too crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know you and Emma have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You get a bit psycho.
Definitely.
Yeah. And with your degree, man, what aspect do you like about it?
So pretty much all of it, apart from the people. But so yeah, it's very full on, very intense. So it's 4 full days a week, pretty much, and then you got to balance. You got to balance your jobs on top of that.
Yeah.
Then you got to balance whatever social life you got left.
Yeah.
I think I saw one time there was a a triangle diagram. It was social life, sleep, and then work.
Yeah.
And you're only allowed 2 of those.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what it's like. So you can only pick however many you have 2 of those, and then the rest you gotta.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Exactly,
So
basically the whole thing.
No, that's very interesting. I don't know anything about films, and I find it really interesting that you guys are so into that world. So what draws you into that world? What is it that makes it so interesting to you guys?
I mean, I just like the idea that we can all relate to films. I mean, there's always going to be a bit of humanity that we can kind of like grasp. And we've used films to like explore the concepts around us, I suppose. I mean, someone told me that like the other day we were talking about film, and they were like, they see film as a way to like, or art as a way to like report the news. And I think that's really true. It's like our way to kind of like have our opinion about the world. So for me, it's all about the script. I don't know. Damon's probably similar, but
yeah, a little similar. I always wanted avenues to create, like ever since I was little. Like I wanted to be a writer when I was like 4, like an author. But then I've just found different avenues where it's moving into film, which is something I always enjoyed. But I was like, is that really a career? But then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for it, and it's worked out pretty well.
So you're an aspiring author as well, then, yeah?
Oh, that's long gone.
That's long gone?
That dream's dead.
Man, I'd love to publish my own work if I could.
I'd love to. An author told me one day, though, she goes, you can either be an author or a screenwriter, and you cannot do both.
Why not? Why is that?
Screenwriting's very short-tempered, I would say. It's very... I would think of like, when you think of like writing a novel, it's beautiful and the words are eloquent, and then you think of screenwriting and you kind of slash all that away and you have a very bare minimum, which took me a little while to get used to the style. It's a really technical too. You can't really experiment a lot with it, which is hard sometimes, but it's fun.
No, good, as long as you're having fun with it. It's I just think it's such a different world that I'm not used to. So what else was I going to say? I don't know where I'm going to go with this. We'll go for random pathways here. Favourite movie? What's your favourite movie?
Call Me By Your Name.
And what is that?
Call Me By Your Name is a film set in the 70s about a young boy who's kind of grown up in this like philosophical world kind of thing, and he falls in love with a student who comes to stay with him for the summer, an archaeology student, and it's kind of about them kind of, you know, finding each other, but also looking at the ethics and philosophy.
Emma told me about that.
Yes, everyone.
It's the gay love story.
It's the gay love story.
Yeah, she recommended to me to read.
So beautiful. You'll love it. It's very philosophical and it makes you question everything. And we've watched it about a gazillion times.
Yeah.
So.
What about you, man? What do you like?
Favorite film of all time. Whiplash.
Oh, that's a good movie.
I'd say, honestly, that's my favorite film.
Oh, I love that film. But I get so frustrated. Like, he like goes through so much. Like, he goes through that car crash. He shows up and he's like, "You're done." That tore my heart out. It's like all the hard effort he went through, and like that still arsehole little teacher is. But it's still good. It was very good. There's another thing. I was taught. Oh man, I had it. It just left me. It'll come back soon, I feel. So yeah, have you seen a lot of Emma recently?
Yeah, look, we say we don't see each other a lot, but seeing each other's a lot's like 3 days a week kind of thing. So. Yeah,
true. You guys are very clingy. Yeah, have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah. Just a little.
Just a little bit, yeah. I've missed you. It's been 2 hours.
Literally, she rang me up last night.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm coming home. And I was like, oh my God. We're just like screaming on the phone. And I was like, wait, I literally saw you like 3 days ago. But
yeah. So you're living on campus now as well? Or what are you doing?
I'm living at a share house, which is interesting.
What's that like there? Like, what do you mean by interesting in that little high-pitched voice?
It's very different. Like, the people have been brought up very differently to how I was brought up. Very strict, very religious families. So it's really different kind of, I guess, like being immersed in their kind of culture and everything, like how they do everything. Like some days I have the house completely free because they all go to church from like 7 a.m. until like 9 p.m. So for that was really different. Like kind of things like that. But it's interesting. It's just a bit far out there as well.
And what about you, man? You
So I live in a share house currently, but it's a lot closer to the city. And I've got this one pretty much living with me as well. So it's very interesting. You get pretty much people from all over the world just coming in, and it's just very interesting is the best way I can put it.
I also feel like city life in general is very interesting, and having to put up with a big group of people within that is going to make it even more.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd never go back to the city.
I'm actually like recently. I know you're pretty into your history.
Yes.
Do you know a lot about like the Russian Revolution?
Oh yeah.
Maybe you better help me because recently I've been reading Alexander Solzhenitsyn's book The Gulag Archipelago. And I've been learning a lot about like how people were treated in the gulags and stuff like that. And what are your thoughts on like how that came about? Like how can something like a concept like socialism, communism result in something like that? Why do you reckon that occurred?
Socialism?
Yeah. Then why do you reckon something as horrible as the gulags occurred from that?
Well, I mean, socialism's like never gonna work. Like, I mean, the idea of like all like Marxism, the communism, it's never gonna work because humans are like inherently selfish.
Yeah.
And so someone's always going to want to be in charge. Like I remember, I know you love philosophy, like reading, like, I think it was Aristotle who had the four forms of, the perfect kind of society.
Yeah.
And, even though we would love to live in Arcadia, it's just never going to happen because, like, people are always going to have an ulterior motive. And, like, to live as a human is to want, I suppose.
Yeah, we're all in it for ourselves in the end.
For sure.
Yeah, because, you can't live for a stranger.
For sure. And even, like, if we are all brought up to be, like, all for each other. Like there's always going to be someone who wants to help someone a little bit more. Like, and even that in itself is going to be like a drive more, which I think so. Even though it stems from a good idea, of course, like inevitably people are going to like use that as like a power move, I suppose.
As a power move, so to end up from like the concept's very beautiful and very lovely, but like within placement in the human species, it ends up being something as terrible as the treatment that they did in the Soviet Union.
For sure. I mean, if you even look at China as well, like China's a perfect example, and they're still recovering. Like, didn't happen that long ago. Same kind of thing,
Yeah.
Great idea, but Mao walks in and he's got ulterior motives. So even though it's the perfect idea, he's always going to be the one who wants to be in charge. You don't do anything to get that power.
Yeah, you're not doing the vision right. It's my job to make sure it becomes right, and then all of a sudden that just doesn't work out for everyone.
For sure.
That's very interesting. I feel it's very it's very painful thoughts. What do you reckon, man? What are your thoughts on all that sort of stuff? Do you have any?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not massively aware of the Russian Revolution, not as much as
Sydney.
But I am of the belief that socialism is essentially never gonna work. I know I'm just parroting, but it genuinely just isn't gonna work. Like if you put that into any country, all over the world, 218 times out of 218, it's going to fail. I reckon
socialism can work if it's in sprinkles. As in, like, we don't adopt the entire philosophy of socialism, but we add little aspects to it. Because we do that here. We have, like, social healthcare and all that sort of stuff, don't we? So, like, if you just adopt little things, it can work within our system. But as a whole, definitely, I don't feel like it can with our kind of proclivities as a species. Would you actually do you know a lot about Lenin and shit like that? Because I've been wanting to read into him, but do you know a lot about him or his history?
I don't know a lot, because I'm studying it at the moment, the Russian Revs. I did China and France, which I love, but I'm reading a book, so I'll give you my book, because I think it's really good.
Go for it.
I've got a book.
I thought you were going to tell me.
No,
give it to me. But give it to me.
So I find it really fascinating, because that was kind of crashed and burned rather quickly, Russian Revs. But France is the same as well. I mean, they obviously went to Republic, but still the same kind of thing. It's kind of crazy looking back at history, kind of seeing how, I guess, all those uprisings and all the death that kind of like shapes the future. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah. Do you reckon that's going to occur again at any time?
A revolution? Probably not I reckon China will eventually see revolution go back to Republican.
Yeah.
Because they were on the verge of becoming a republic before they turned to communism. So I think they'll definitely, because they're kind of heading that way right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be as violent. But again, America is on the brink of a civil war, so whether they change, again, who knows? Yeah. But I don't think they'll go to...
Why do you think America's on the brink of a civil war?
I think because of the divide between groups, majority groups and minority groups. So, for example, feminism right now is at a real down point with like women's rights and everything.
Yeah.
Also, I guess like the Black cause is just horrible what's happening over there. Like, even more so, we're seeing more deaths, more violence, and especially between police brutality.
Yeah.
I was even watching an episode, this is going to sound really bad, we were watching an episode of Queer Eye the other night.
Yeah.
And they just had like the police officer come up and like trick this like African American guy, and he's like, get out of the car, blah blah blah, and he was actually like generally fearing for his life, and like afterwards it was okay, but he was like that's like for us, like they can come up to us and that could just be it, we're dead, no second questions asked kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like America's very like, they're fighting at the moment. There's not really a lot of like in-betweeners. There's a lot of like lefts and there's a lot of rights.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to cause problems.
Yeah. So, to go with that, do you also might think that the media is showing the worst possible scenario, and that like what is actually occurring isn't as bad as what is being shown?
I think for sure the media's always going to try and persuade. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I study advertising, and we're like pretty much trained to do that. We take the news and we like put the breaking news forward, and that's what gets pushed out to everybody.
Yeah.
So, but I do still think that like what's getting reported is horrific. So even if it's just like little things, it's still like horrific to hear. Like a woman, I don't know if you guys probably heard, but the woman's been shot in Alabama in the stomach. Yeah. She was pregnant and she lost the baby. And then the shooter was dismissed, and the woman's now getting charged with manslaughter for killing her baby for under the abortion laws.
Okay.
So, I mean, things like that, like, that's pretty intense stuff, you know?
Yeah, but that happens everywhere as well. Shit like that, like, occurs everywhere. Doesn't mean it's right, but...
Well, that's the problem. I mean, even, like, all over the world it's happening. And I guess America's are probably the forefront of our minds because they're our closest ally.
Yeah.
Next to France and England. But... Yeah. So, like, we are all getting it. But, yeah, like, you look at all the, like, non-Western societies, it happens everywhere. Like, Damon and I saw a film the other night, and it was just, like, about, what was it called? Caprahanum? Yeah, it was just pretty much kind of looking at how we kind of ignore, you know, those, like, other little kind of countries, whereas it happens constantly, which is really sad, you know?
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah. Tough topics, man.
Yeah.
They are tough. Yeah. Like, because I like to ask these questions because I'm always curious about our future and the right way to go forward and what will occur next with the countries with their actions and I sincerely don't know enough at the moment because I haven't spent enough time looking into it. And yeah, it's just something that I think about quite often is like how things are going to end up. Okay, I got another thing. How do you reckon our country's going to end up in the next 10 years as well with the way we're going politically?
Well, politically we don't... I feel like everyone keeps saying we're in turmoil, but the problem is we're not in turmoil, we're just a bit confused.
Yeah.
I mean, both parties are kind of offering very similar things, in my opinion. I mean, you've got the millennial vote going towards Labour, and you've got the baby boomer vote going towards Liberal, which has always been the case. Yeah. So eventually we'll probably see a Labour shift, but I just don't think they're not offering a hell of a lot that's going to really affect us, I think. You know, like, we went without a Prime Minister for, a week, and nothing happened, which kind of says a lot for how Australia runs, I think. Yeah. Whereas America loses their president, it would be a very different situation. They'd be rioting, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with the Prime Minister as well, it's more like a figurehead. Like, they're just a figurehead for a whole party, like, sort of like just a stand-in for what the whole party believes in. So... Like, if you take it away, the party's still there, their views are still there. It's not going to change anything. So, but if you take away the party and just leave the guy on his own, he's not going to know what to do. Yeah. So it's really just them having a stand-in person that they can be like, okay, vote for him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What else? I've also want to pick your thoughts about some other things. What are your thoughts about renewable energy ideas and stuff like that? And I've been recently looking into nuclear energy as an option. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I'm really biased right now because we just watched the TV show Chernobyl.
Yeah, yes. Oh, yeah.
Still slightly traumatized from that.
I want to watch that so bad.
Good.
What's it on? Is it on like Stan or Netflix? Or
it's on Foxtel or HBO. Okay. But you can get it. I'll give you my logins. You can watch it.
Yes, please.
So good.
Yeah, because I really want to watch it. Just home.
So I mean, I was very traumatized after seeing like that unfold visually on screen. So I'm like, no way for nuclear energy. Plus, I feel like it's also a big thing with Australians, like quite wanting to make money off it. Yeah. Which is a bit, very constant.
It's what makes the world go round, so you have to do that.
It's true, but I feel like the problem with that is that it's going to be a big part, like bigger kind of figures, like the Murdochs and all those kind of like Reinhardts who are going to be the ones who kind of controlling it. Yeah. And I mean, I think Australia's biggest problem is actually the fact that they control so much of the media and so much of like the world. Like, it's kind of forced like 5 major families around Australia. Yeah. And I think that's Australia's major problem, is that there's no diversity. Yeah. In that regard, so I would be a bit concerned about what would happen with that if they started controlling huge, energy plants. Yeah. And they suddenly didn't get what they wanted, or I don't know. But again, I don't think we live in that corrupt of a world. But still.
Well, I think that's the potential for that. You got to think of those things anyway when it comes to everything. I actually do think that nuclear energy could be a potential for Australia. Yeah. Because like most of us, the majority of us live on the coast. And where could you put these plants? You could put them like in the middle of nowhere, where no one is. Yeah. Like if you really wanted to, I feel. Yeah. And then like you'll have a safe area, and if things do go wrong, you'll have an area where nobody originally was.
I guess what scares me the most is the problem with Chernobyl is that when one exploded, they were like concerned it was going to wipe out the whole of Europe. Yeah. And I mean, that's a scary thought, because that was like one little area of Russia. Yeah. And they were like frightened that the whole of, Europe was going to happen. I mean, I know that that was a serious design flaw. Yeah. But it still freaks me out a little bit.
Yeah, it is a scary thought, because like when you hear the word nuclear, you think of like, it is it's a radioactive materials, like you're using isotopes and shit.
I feel like as well, like if you put them like in the middle of nowhere, eventually, like, because with global warming that's happening as well, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So all these people that are living along the coasts, when tides rise up, where are they going to move to?
Just grow gills. That's all I've got.
Gills?
Emma and I have a house going, so.
I'm hoping by then we'll be robots.
Yeah.
Like I said in the last podcast you were just listening to, I really do want to become a robot. It's just I've been just thinking about like how can you find these solutions to all these issues, like my recent Melbourne trip, like you see so many people, and like we're talking about energy, like, and then people really want to switch to cleaner energy sources. How can we get this many people to all of a sudden start committing to making those changes in order to bring a more greener future? Because there's 7 billion of us, and you're going to ask 7 billion of us to all of a sudden start changing behaviours, which end up being a bit harder. Like, let's say instead of taking your car to work, walk or ride your bike, which takes effort. You have to get up early in the morning. You have to stop being lazy and doing it. And then all of a sudden you have to also switch to different methods. Like, you make sure you be aware when you're recycling. Takes effort and takes thought. And we're too busy working all the time. People are exhausted. They can't be fucked doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
You see where I'm going with that?
Completely. And I feel like also it's never going to happen in the sense of around the world there's so much poverty.
Yeah.
It's never going to be able to be fixed. It's a problem that's just
it's
horrific. And we look at India and China and all those kind of places, and they're never going to change because they don't have the implications to be able to change. You know? So it's really sad.
And they're way too far gone. I feel like they're way too deep. To get them back. Sure. Yeah, it's I just can't fathom the number that we are what we are doing. Just can you picture it? Because every single one of us live different individual lives. So live our own little lives. We make our own little emissions. We pollute the earth in our own individual way.
For sure, it's
I can't picture that. 7 billion of us to do that.
The thing is as well. I've read up somewhere. It's certain companies are making 71% of total emissions. Yeah. So no matter if these 7 billion people are all making these little changes and it all works. Yeah. If these companies don't do anything, it's not going to change.
What sort of companies are they though?
It's the power plants. Yeah. I found big ones as well.
So, keep going.
Oh yeah, no, but power plants as well, and big brand companies. Yeah. Your high manufacturing companies, like your Coca-Cola, all that. They're making tons of emissions right now. Yeah. So if they don't change their habits, it doesn't matter what the rest of us is going to do. Yeah. We're still going to die anyway.
Yeah. well, actually, I actually reckon there's a counter to that, and that's actually through making people change their minds. Because the reason why they're producing so much emissions is because of the demand on their company. Yeah. Because due to capitalism, the demand for the product, they're producing these emissions because of that. So if we start changing behaviours now, we're going to change the behaviours of the company itself. So it might end up being more greener and making them stop in their production. It might even destroy the company altogether. It might even make them switch to something greener. Because the only reason those things exist is because of us, not because of the company isn't a thinking entity. Well, it is to a degree, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Does it make sense?
For sure.
I have no idea where I was going with that. That went
No, it's for sure. Capitalism is one of the most evil things ever created, but I don't think it's ever going to
It's a good system compared to most, man.
Yeah, true. I mean, my whole career is advertising, so capitalism all the way. Yeah. I'll talk to film students and they'll scoff. They'll be like, "Oh, capitalism." Yeah. And they'll be holding a shiny new black magic camera. For $3,000, and I'll be like, stop. Yeah. But I get a kind of a bit obsessed with buying because we have all this money. It's what do we do with the money? And I guess
save it and go on holidays.
Yeah, and it's still kind of
treat yourself.
Yeah.
I hate that treat yourself fucking shit. Yeah. It just annoys me. It's save your money so you can do shit later.
For sure.
Because I'd rather, instead of buying something fancy, I'd rather save it so I can go overseas someday, Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, says me, just bought some new shit. But
I know. Got no savings, but...
it's just... that sort of... mindset really disturbs me. But it's a tough topic to deal with because today I was just at the council and discussing transport and all I could think in my head was how's this going to help the future? It'll make us more connected and get us to our jobs and back and forth, but in the end it doesn't mean anything.
And Australia at the moment, we're only have 20 days of supply of oil if we run out.
Yeah.
And so you think about that, Australia, that's not good on ScoMo's behalf, but if we run out and especially because America is very have very tight tensions with Iran at the moment. if they go to war with Iran, then that's it, you know.
Yeah.
Australia's not going to have any oil, which is really scary. So I think we should definitely look at like renewable energy for like
we should be
transport.
Yeah.
Like, we should be really kind of scared because
starting it now.
I guess whatever happens, we're always an ally with America.
Yeah, we need an Australian Elon Musk or something. We need
Yeah.
someone to start coming up with shit or
For
something.
sure. I mean,
yeah.
electric. I mean, what has France like proposed that they're gonna have all electric cars by 2027 or something ridiculous?
That is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool. It'd be cool.
It'd be cool. It'd be interesting to see where that happens. That's what they proposed.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether I think Australia should definitely head down that path, but
Yeah.
I mean, it means cars have become a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Then.
But yeah, I've actually recently I'm trying to commit to it. I'm trying actually to reduce how much I use my car now.
Yeah.
Because I really want to start making sure I take better care of this planet. But yeah, no, very interesting. What else was I gonna say? What is the actual like the political landscape in like Melbourne? Like I've noticed like everyone is very, yeah.
Damon laughs at me. It's very. I mean, it's a bit of a meme, but it's like the hipster Labour Greens kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's ironic because a lot of those people don't really give two
Yeah.
shits, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much like that's the kind of thing. I mean, I've gone to rallies before for like Greens and everything.
Yeah.
With some of my friends, but
Yeah.
it's very, very Labour orientated.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I think Melbourne had the biggest Labour vote in the
Yeah.
recent election,
Oof.
but Queensland was
Yeah.
the biggest Liberal vote, which is why they got through. But
Yeah, I'm from Queensland. That's why she keeps.
Which part of Queensland?
Brisbane.
Brisbane. What's it like there?
It's very different. It's a lot more.
Liberal.
Thank
Sorry.
you. It's a lot more relaxed than
Yeah.
the Melbourne culture. It's very. It's like Melbourne's sort of like where you earn, like you have a career, you
Yeah.
pursue your jobs, and Brisbane's more like the place where you settle down,
Yeah.
you raise a life,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's more of a chill.
Yeah, it's
family
it's
friendly.
very. Yeah, family friendly. It's just a very like relaxed environment.
Yeah.
Some would say Bogan.
Yeah.
I would agree with them.
That's
But
my-
it's also
Yeah.
quite relaxed.
Bogan
as well.
to the best, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
Right.
I had a thought and it left me again. Anything else you want to talk about? For a bit? Yeah.
I just think. Well, I can't really think. I mean, going back to the topic of like Trump and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
did you guys hear he got nominated for Nobel Peace Prize?
Is that when you talked to Kim when he got
Yeah.
the North Korean?
And I
leader?
mean, that's like when you think about it, we're like, oh, Trump sucks, but he's kind of like done some like pretty amazing things in regards to that.
That's a historical feat. They actually be able to get in
Yeah.
contact with North Korean leader in person.
And,
that's
like,
pretty
potentially
significant.
denuclearize them. Like that's pretty crazy.
Potentially.
I mean, it's on good path at the moment. One more
Yeah.
move and we'll be back to like hating each other on
I
Twitter.
I feel like if Trump and Kim Jong Un like win like a peace prize for that, that'd sort of be like when two siblings are like fighting in the shopping center and then their mum buys them ice cream because they stop.
Yeah.
For sure.
But this
I
is
mean-
over missiles.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
and I mean,
Yeah.
if you can like denuclearize like the most
Yeah.
like nuclear country in the world, because like the thing is, if we went to war with North Korea, they wouldn't last 5 days, because they would like they're this big compared to Australia, England, America, who's like the biggest military in the whole world. Like they wouldn't last, and no one wants to see a country destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe South Korea, but like.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they can do that, it's pretty good,
Yeah, because like I'd like a tell it'd be a cool holiday destination would be North Korea.
Yeah.
So if they like chilled out, I'd
yeah.
go there.
Go there.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So I actually do think he probably does deserve some sort of like prize for that, because he did actually get in contact with a very interesting man who probably wouldn't have done that with any other person, because he's the only one that really stood up against him in a sense. Because like how every time North Korea will go like, oh we got missiles that'll reach you, and then the last president would be like, oh no, don't hurt us, blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're not gonna hurt you, but can you give us like foreign aid or whatever the fuck, I can't remember the exact story. Then all of a sudden Trump was like, no, fuck you, I do what I want, which is dangerous, but like he's calling a bluff in a sense, because if Korea decided to attack the US, they're gonna just get bombarded.
Yeah.
But so that's why I think it's kind of interesting. Do you agree in that or no?
Initially, I was like, no. My brother told me, but now I think about it, and I think, I mean, it's, again, like he's doing the thing that no one else can do.
Do you think no, just because Trump?
Just because Trump.
Do you
I really hate Trump. But
what's the reason why you dislike Trump? Is it because of the way the media portrays him, or your actual personal opinions on him?
Look, it probably is the way the media portrays him. Because we are getting a very like
one-sided.
Yeah, and we are getting very left kind of democratic view. But like also, I mean, I just don't like what he's doing with like feminism. I think he has no disregard. He has no, regards for, again, like, black culture or anything like that. He's very like white male Christian kind of. That's how his ideal human in the sense,
Yeah.
Which is very like redneck kind of way of thinking. And I mean, he's the guy who's kind of always had money to fall back onto. Like, he's been broke how many times, like bankrupt, and he's always had like his father's money to fall back onto.
Yeah, I have to look into it more to form actually a solid opinion. But I do find it interesting when everybody really like they hate him, but like they don't really look into it or why they just hate him just on the basis of what the media's told them.
And I mean, people are always gonna hate like one of like a villain. I mean, that's like rule number one in filmmaking as well. You create your villains. Yeah. And I mean, we do that in Australia with like, I mean, I guess the Labor creates ScoMo as being like this awful guy. Yeah. But, and then like also Bill Shorten. Like I think we just don't like prime ministers. But
why do they hate ScoMo? He seems like he has a few crazy ideas, but he's all right.
Yeah, I think he's a little conservative, but he's honestly fine. Again, Australians can't really do a lot passing laws or anything. Yeah. And we're very one-sided when it comes to like referendums and laws and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think he'll do an awful lot. No prime minister really does. Yeah. They don't do things. They don't really do drastic things because it always falls back to the public vote, really.
Yeah, indeed.
Nice.
What else can we talk about real quickly? This is also another thing. Mars. Okay, Mars. Do you reckon to solve some issues we should start considering terraforming Mars?
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, it'll definitely solve a population thing. Yeah. It'll definitely, but I mean, I read a scientist's opinion that he thought human beings were like, he was out in space. He was an astronaut. Yeah. And he was looking down on space, and he goes, you can just see how dead it is, like the whole Earth. Yeah. And he trying to change his view on like human beings as being like a virus to the Earth, and he goes, we're just like viruses that come to our bodies, that we're like killing the Earth in our sense. We're like kind of doing our things, going about our days, just destroying it. Yeah. And he was kind of like, he used to be all for, and now he's like, well, are we just going to do that to every single planet? Yeah. Which is like interesting, but then also I think it's pretty cool concept.
It is.
And I heard it was like potentially going to be a socialist planet, which is interesting.
Oh Jesus! It will. I reckon it will be with a small group. It'll be a lot easier with a small group.
For sure.
Because then you'll know your neighbour.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a lot easier with a smaller group. Yeah. But like with that whole virus thing, of course it's true. Like we are just living our lives as well as just speaking earlier with the whole like emissions and CO2. We're just living our lives and we're just producing shit because we have demands on things, and we're making companies go produce 75% of the whatever the blah blahs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know, because like it becomes very difficult to decide what is the right answer, because all of a sudden you bring in like our human morals to it. I think I'm thinking on the spot, so I'm really trying to figure out what I'm trying to thinking, because you're just giving me an idea and just thinking about we're trying to solve a problem that is nearly unsolvable in a sense, and it doesn't bring panic, it just brings concern. Yeah, do you guys feel the same with that sort of stuff?
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's always going to be a little bit concerned back in their mind, but I don't think we've ever reached a point of like total panic unless it's like you're specifically affected. Yeah. Because we're always told it's not going to happen in our lifetime. Yeah. So we're always like, oh, that sucks. Like, that's really concerning. But
that's the wrong mindset.
It's completely the wrong mindset. Yeah. I mean, I was watching a film with Em the other night called Vice about Dick Cheney. Yeah. Great film. And it's kind of was like the saying that like they were like when they first thought of the concept of like global warming, they didn't want to call it global warming, they wanted to call it climate change, because climate change sounds like worrying, but it's not alarming. Yeah. Which I think that's kind of the way the world works, you know. Yeah. Especially like the way like political leaders kind of want us to think about particular things, you know, which happens all the time. It sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it does. Yeah. Especially when the top news agencies are like best friends with the major political parties. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but
Yeah. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I'll probably could go on rants for hours about that. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool to actually get to talk to different opinions and stuff like that. That's why I bring people on here. That's the idea of this podcast, is that like I'll bring you on, ask you what you do basically, which I did, to a sense.
Yeah.
And we got into some conversation. I just wanted to explore your thoughts and understanding of things so I could develop my own thoughts. Because, yeah, this world's a big, different place, and I'm trying to understand it, and I want to understand it more, and by getting your perceptions might even change my own. And
it's really interesting. I mean, and we all kind of grow off of other people's opinions.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was brought up, you know, with one sense. When I moved to Melbourne, I started to develop your own opinions.
Yeah.
And I guess as you grow, you start to develop like what you care about, what you don't care about, and kind of things like that, which is interesting because my political opinions shifted completely from my parents' opinions to my own kind of, and they're still changing, you know. And I guess the thing we're caught up in the idea that we all know everything about everything, but at the end of the day, we probably know very little about a lot of things. But I mean, we like to think we do.
So you got to stay honest with yourself, and you got to be willing to change, or else you'll be a toddler for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think I'll leave it on that. And thank you very much, guys. Do you want to say goodbye? Do you have anything, guys, you want to plug? Any like social media, anything like that you want to put in my description, or?
You could chuck in my letterbox, but
I
don't think anyone has letterbox.
I'll chuck it in there
we
anyway.
have some followers in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me the links and I'll put in the
for
description
sure.
down below once I'm all done with chucking it online. That'll be it. This has been Mr. Matty G 111. If you feel like supporting me, I have a PayPal donation button. I'll put in the description down below. Please support me so I can actually get cameras and microphones. And also have a BitChute, which is another form of video entertainment streaming. I bet you guys haven't known about that one, did you? It's not very well known. I'm waiting for the day that YouTube crashes and you're going to have to go to that channel. Thank you very much. And this has been my channel. Goodbye, guys. You'll say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.